Yep, I'm gonna glaze this game in next year. Halo 3 is Bungie's best Halo game. This is for a multitude of reasons, but we need to establish our time frame first. Halo 2 came out in November of 2004, and it was of course amazing, but it has one of the most memeable endings ever.
117.
Anyone hear me? Over.
Isolate that signal. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this Big Mac.
A huge cliffhanger, and we're forced to wait. History became legend, legend became myth.
And for 2,500 years.
Okay, no, not that long. 3 years go by before Master Chief returns. This time though, he's on the Xbox 360. That means that not only did Halo 3 have to try and surpass Halo 2 as a sequel, but it also had to impress as the first Halo on a new console. So the trailers start dropping, the hype starts building, until finally... this title screen is just a semi-truck of nostalgia. This game was huge. It made $300 million in the first week, and it was the best-selling game in the US in 2007, and it has the best Super Bowl commercial in history.
Negative, sir. I think we lost him.
Not yet.
I might be a little biased. The game was the complete package. Multiplayer, Forge, and one of my favorite campaigns of any game ever. This game was my childhood. And this game was the game to play with friends.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I jumped out. I saw that coming.
And what better way to experience the campaign? One person is Master Chief, the other is the Arbiter, and if you had anyone else, they were one of these elites, Intho, From, and Uze Taham. They were blue and red. Together though, you get to experience humanity's last stand. And Halo 3's campaign excels at selling this is an all-or-nothing conflict. The set pieces are huge, the missions are paced to perfection, and the stakes have never been higher. Now, I'm going to take off my nostalgia goggles briefly and just go ahead and rip the band-aid off. I have to be honest, Halo 3's story, it's not the best. I mean, overall, I would say it's a satisfying conclusion to Bungie's trilogy, but compared to Halo 2, I mean, whew, dude. Halo 2 felt like a very smart sci-fi story that really expanded the mythos of Halo. The dialogue was sharp, each character had great presence in the narrative, and the overarching plot, while ending on a cliffhanger, felt much more thought out and congruent. And a lot of this was achieved by providing us with the Arbiter's point of view.
These are my elites. Their lives matter to me, yours does not.
And now, this is a man that knows how to marry his cousin.
It allowed us to see the war from the Covenant's perspective, and it gave more context and scope to the conflict, while slowly building the foundation for the big reveal to the Arbiter that the whole reason for the war was a lie.
Tartarus, the prophets have betrayed us.
But of course, us Halo fans don't like any degree of change, and initial Arbiter response was mixed because, just to be honest, his missions kind of were bad. So Bungie scaled them back for Halo 3, and I mean scaled this dude back. He has like 5 lines of dialogue total the whole game, which I guess is fine and all, but like...
What is it? More brutes?
No, Arbiter, I don't think the ship with an evil gas cloud is more brutes. And then Truth, like, dude, what happened to this guy? In 2, he was so cunning and tactical with his decision making.
The great journey waits for no one, brother.
It seemed like he was always just a step ahead of anybody. Here, he's just dropping evangelical live streams all game and talking nonsense.
To creep, blackened from its hold to mar the reflection of our passage, the culmination of our journey.
I hate this channel.
I mean, like, how much time passed between these two games? Like a few hours? It'd be like if in Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine executes Order 66, and then the next day when Yoda goes to face him, he sees... Okay, that's not the best comparison, but y'all get the point. And also, like, you're telling me the fate of the universe is at stake, and no one else showed up to the final mission besides these 4 dudes? I think that the main issue in this game isn't the story itself, but the decisions some of the people make in this game. Like, for example, Miranda just crashes her gunship in this room full of brutes and climbs out with a shotgun and pistol to save Johnson and just dies. Like, what she think she was, the Terminator? Like, I know the stakes are high, but, like, she tried aura farming way too hard here. Gravemind has, what, billions of flood organisms under his command from High Charity? He chunks one ship at Earth, and, I mean, yeah, there's some on the Ark, but, like, that's it. And then Johnson, to get to the final mission, takes not a one-man fighter pilot, but the entirety of the Forward Unto Dawn by himself, parks it, like, 16 miles away from the objective, and then dies because his plot armor runs out.
Right.
So no, bozo, I don't think Halo Reach was a step down in every conceivable way, but at least Bungie didn't phone in their B team for the voice acting like Reach, and there's not a single bad line in the entirety of Halo 3, right?
Squad leaders are requesting a rally point. Where should they go?
To war.
Alright, you heard the lady. It's okay though, I think Infinite's Evil Lairly is way worse.
Welcome to my tower, Master Chief. It is where you will be broken.
But in reality, the voice acting in this game is top notch. Steve Downes, Jen Taylor, Keith David, Ron Perlman, D. Bradley Baker, that one pilot from the first mission. I'm hit! Despite everything I've said, I do like Halo 3's story. It doesn't make a lot of sense at times, but you know what? We can't have everything. I do think emotionally Halo 3's story succeeds. It really feels like this is it. If humanity fails, if Chief fails, it's over. Humanity is finished. Seeing the resolution of the Covenant War, Chief and Cortana reuniting, the climactic finale, it all feels very epic, powerful, and overall satisfying.
Hard to believe he's dead.
Were it so easy.
And it's sad to part with some of our favorite characters, even if their deaths don't necessarily make sense. And while it's not touched on as much as I would like, I do really like seeing the dynamic of humanity and elites working together. These two groups have been at war for 28 years, and now all of a sudden they have to work together.
And you, shipmaster, just glassed half a continent. Maybe the flood isn't all I should be worried about.
One single flood spore can destroy a species. Were it not for the Arbiter's Council, I would have glassed your entire planet.
Even cooler than that, though, is that brief moment where you ally with the Flood. I was 9 playing this game for the first time, so you know when the Flood saunters up and is like, oh, this little lunatic's gonna kill all of us, wanna team up? I was like... Now, some people will say, oh, but you hated Halo 5's story because it didn't make sense half the time and the writing was bad, you hypocrite. Do you know what the main difference between Halo 3 and Halo 5's story is? Halo 3's story is exciting to play through and Halo 5's story is not. And what Halo 3 may lack in story though, it more than makes up for with the levels themselves. This game has excellent levels and there's not a single bad mission. The game just excels at giving you control. These massive open spaces where Marines and brutes are clashing that you have to clear, they feel unguided, like you're just freely participating in this fight. The linear missions are just as fun too. They keep the action exciting but never overwhelming, with enough breathing room to soak in the narrative.
Done it, Chief. Jump.
Nah, I'm good. And I just don't feel like your time is wasted with useless filler like half of Halo 5. And it supplements all this with all kinds of weapons and vehicles that
You're as beautiful as the day I lost you.
There's never a wrong way to approach a fight, and Ark and the Covenant are the 2 best missions in the entire franchise, and it's not close. Which, of course, this is all helped by a tiny little feature that's not... No, it's not that important, I guess, but split screen co-op.
Is this when Cortana watches Master Chief strip?
Now, split screen may not be as widely used as the feature now, but I mean, in 2007, this was a big deal and core to the Halo experience. And not just split screen, but Halo 3 had 4-player co-op for the campaign. That's huge. I mean, playing the game by yourself is fun enough, but mixing some friends and it's just...
That was pretty funny, though. Oh.
And this translates into the other modes too. I mean, you could come up with all kinds of shenanigans in Forge, which, by the way, was present at launch, or the fully fleshed out multiplayer with maps that were so well designed and memorable that the best maps in Halo Infinite are recreations of these maps, which, by the way, these were present at launch. And let's not forget the aforementioned split screen, which was present at launch. The point I'm trying to make is that Halo 3 is obviously remembered fondly because, yes, its campaign is fun. Yes, the multiplayer is excellent. Yes, Forge was revolutionary, but it's legendary because it valued community.
Wow. Cringe.
Everything was done to allow the game to be played with friends, with people. I know some people will say split screen is not as widely used these days, but that's not the point. It's the option to have someone over, sit down, and just play the same game together. When we were dating, my wife and I were playing the Halo games together. It was her first time playing through them. We played through all of Bungie's games, then Halo 4, and then we hit Halo 5, and I looked at her and I said, all right, we're done. Now, the reason why you may be asking, it's quite obvious. It's because Halo 5 is cheeks, but I mean, we literally couldn't. I would have to buy another Xbox to play with her. Look, for a game like Halo, a good gameplay loop isn't enough. You have to create an environment to let the community grow, for friends to play together, to have incentive to keep returning. Halo 3 provided the keys to all of this from the start, and because of this, it set the standard for future multiplayer games. Among all the things that people say is wrong with Halo today, I think ultimately it's that rather than setting the standard, Halo is chasing the standard now. Halo Infinite, the best game of the 343 trilogy, took 3 years to deliver features and tools that were available at launch in a game that was made more than a decade prior. Halo 3 isn't perfect. No game is, but it was Bungie's best Halo game, and it was the game to play with friends. It didn't price you out of it, it didn't resell skins from old games for $40, it wasn't missing core features at launch. The game was fun, immensely replayable, and a complete package from the start. It was the quintessential and the ultimate Halo experience, and for that reason, it is one of the greatest games ever made.